What's going on, everybody? Coming to you live right out of Hog Holler, Tennessee. Well, not really. Been a day or two since I've caught up with everybody. I've got a story for y'all from way back. I'll get on with that here in a few minutes. I just want to tell everybody, been reading everybody's comments. Appreciate you all. You all are a lot of friendly people, and a lot of y'all restore my faith in humanity nowadays. That's saying a lot for the times we're in. But got a real creepy story to tell you. When I was younger, I remember hearing this story. The guy, he was my cousin. And I'd always knew this story, but I was afraid to ask him about it. It disturbed him quite a bit when he got older. He's passed on now. So I guess this mystery of this unexplained is probably explained to him now. But for the rest of us, this will remain a mystery for a while. Tell you what happened. Now, when he was young, about 6 years old maybe, right in that area, 6, 7, he went with a youth group swimming. A little swimming hole around here, locals. If I called it off by name, everybody would know it. But he went swimming there, and the teenagers, the youth group was in charge of watching the younger kids. So the day came and they went swimming and crawdad hunting, you know, just being kids at the local river / swimming hole. And some of the teenagers that's supposed to be watching them got together, and well, they sort of got to where they wasn't paying attention to the little ones like they should. Got to pay more attention to each other. And my cousin, he kind of slipped off from everybody. He had, the story I was told was he had chased a crawdad or something sort of along the riverbank, got down the river just a little ways from everybody. And he got out there and got in over his head, and he couldn't swim. So here he is, drowning, and he's trying to holler for help between getting the water in his mouth and getting choked, and the river itself right there is kind of loud. It echoes against a big rock cliff, a big rock bank. And these kids are not hearing him, these teenagers. Matter of fact, they've got their back to the water, and they're kind of gathered around somebody's vehicle, listening to a radio or doing something, not paying attention. So the little boy, my cousin, he's went down once, maybe even went down 2 times, and he can't get no help at all. He can't get nobody to hear him. He thinks he's a goner. When all of a sudden they hear gunshots ring out from the bank up above. The cliff wall I was telling you about, it's probably about 30 feet high. And the man that's up there walking, he sees what's going on. And he can't get their attention neither. But he just happens to be carrying a pistol with him. And he fires it up into the air a couple of times. Well, when he does, of course the kids turn around facing him to see what's going on. And when they do, he points down at the little boy. Tell him, hey, he's drowning. Points at him. Well, they immediately look to where he's pointing, and there they see my cousin. And they go running out into the water, and they grab him, and he's safe, he's fine. He's shook up, startled, scared, choked, but he's gonna be okay. So they look up on the bank at the guy who had fired these shots off, and they want to thank him. You know, if it wasn't for you, this child would have drowned. And he kind of stands there staring, kind of in a weird looking gaze, like he don't understand what's going on maybe. And he's so far away you can't really get any facial features or anything, you know. They just see him up there, and all of a sudden, after he stands there for a little bit, staring at him, kind of looking confused, he takes off running. He's gone. He disappeared. They even went as far as to go around up there. You know, they wouldn't thank this guy. Hey, if you hadn't have done it, this boy would have drowned. There's no way to be seen. He's gone. Well, like I said, my cousin was about 6 years old when that happened. And the years go by, and he's grown up. I'd say he's probably about 26, I'm going to assume, when this happened. He decides that he's going to set some traps out. And he don't have permission to be on the property that he's setting these traps out. Now, what he was trying to trap, I don't know if it's coyotes. I don't think they were around here back then, or some sort of predator or what. But he had no business being on these people's property and setting traps out. But that's what he's doing. So he goes to check his traps one day, and just so happens that where he is going is up on the bluff that overlooks this swimming hole, where this had happened, you know, so many years ago, 20 years ago. So, and it's just a vague memory in his mind, you know, that when this happened to him. He was so young, bits and pieces of it's all he remembered. And so he's up there, and he's going to go check his traps and see what all he's got. So he parks, he sneaks onto the property. He's going to head up the little hill there, and he's standing on that bluff that I was telling you about, where the man had stood so many years ago. And he hears something, and of course he thinks he's caught, that some of the property owners caught him, and he's going to have some explaining to do. But it sounds like kids is what he hears. So he walks over to the edge of that bluff, overlooks the swimming hole down there, the river, and lo and behold, there's a young boy, about 6 years old, drowning. Nobody sees this little boy going under the water. There's some teenagers there, and they're not paying attention. Now, before my cousin could even think about anything that's happening or going on, he realizes that he's yelled at these people, and they can't hear him over the water, plus he's a little ways away. It just so happens that when he goes to check his traps, he also carries a pistol with him, luckily. So, without thinking or hesitation, he pulls the pistol out of his pocket, and he shoots it a couple of times up in the air, just to get these people's attention. When these people look around, he points. That little boy is drowning, help him. And it's right then and right there that it hits my cousin. That's me. That's him down there in the water drowning. He sees it. He makes eye contact with the little boy. He recognizes some of the teenagers from long ago. He freezes. He's confused. He don't know what's happening. As they get the little boy out, the teenagers, they start waving at the guy. Hey, thank you, thank you. Well, it hits him. I've got to go. I've just fired off this pistol. Somebody's going to come out here now and catch me illegal trapping. They're going to be out here looking for me. But he stares down just a second more in a confused gaze to take all this in. Just like he had done, or the figure had done, many years before. And then he takes off running, and he gets in his vehicle, and he leaves. Now, this was told to me a lot when I was young. I never did ask him about it, because it was also told that it disturbed him quite a bit. And I'd heard him talk about it one time. I didn't get to ask any questions. I was young myself, and I was just listening. And I could tell it disturbed him quite a bit, as his voice would crack and break up. And he said he don't know what it was. He can't explain what he was seeing. But he said that was me in the water down there. And he said years ago, that was me standing up on the bank. He said, I don't understand it. I can't explain it to you. I've lost sleep over it now for years. And maybe one day I'll know and understand what this meant, what was happening here. Well, he passed away, I don't know, probably 15 years ago, somewhere, give or take. And they said that this really disturbed him, actually drove him to drinking, I think. And then his health deteriorated. And like I say, he probably now knows and understands what was happening. And I don't know if it's just this area that I live in around here, but there's a lot of weird and unexplained things that happen in these old mountains. From seeing ghosts, seeing lights in the sky, lights in the woods, voices, babies crying. I've actually been up here in this graveyard at the night time and I've heard a baby cry. I've heard my name. I won't do many videos up here in the dark if you've noticed that now. And especially around this area that we're coming to. If you'd like to see some interesting pictures, if you go to my channel and you go to the community part, you'll see some pictures. Some of them was taken from up here. Some of them was taken in Cades Cove. I actually took a picture at the Primitive Baptist Church in Cades Cove. And if you ever want a paranormal experience for yourself, you go there about this time of day, right before dark. Me and my wife, that's what we done. We went, and just so happened nobody was there, you know, because I guess it was so late in the day. But you drive out this long gravel road. If you go on Google Maps, you can tell how spooky this place is. And we get out, and she refuses to go around back. There's some deer in the graveyard. I tell her, I said, come here and look at these deer. I'm taking a picture of them. She comes around there and she says, I don't like this place. I'm getting out of here. I'm going back to the truck. Well, to be honest, I didn't feel right about it neither. It ain't very often that I feel like I'm being watched. You know, you hear that old saying, I feel like somebody was watching me or I was being watched. You know, I can't say I've had that a lot, but I had it that day. So as I took a couple of pictures of the deer that was standing there, I left, got home, and those pictures are, like I say, under the community part of my channel. There seems to be a transparent figure standing right in front of me. And everybody can't see it. Some people do see it, some people don't. I actually posted it to a Facebook group, Haunted Cades Cove, and the lady made me delete it. She said she didn't want that on her page. She said, I don't want it on my page or on my phone. She said, I don't want to ever see that image again. But there's something, and it's standing right in front of me. I lightened the picture up, pointed at it. It's got horns on its head, and it's right in front of me. And then just past it is like a white face of a lady screaming. Now that could be pareidolia, because it could be leaves in the trees. But there's a few images of that on there. If y'all would like to, go take a look at that. There's a couple images from this graveyard on there. A lot of weird stuff. I thought y'all might want to check that out. I know a lot of y'all probably don't know that that's on there. You have to scroll down when you get there, but you'll find it. But anyways, guys, I thought I'd check in with you, and I hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's being safe. Hope everybody had a good holiday weekend. And I'll get back here with you. I've got several more stories to tell. Seems like that's when we was growing up, there wasn't much to do around here but tell stories and talk. I had so many aunts and uncles and cousins that that's all I ever done was hear stories. But if y'all decide to visit here, you'd love it. It's like I say, just please stay on the trails. Don't hike alone. And be careful. Guys, I'll holler at y'all later. This is South 410. I'm gone.